Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today in our Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen coverage, we're going to take a look at the Lunar Sorcery Sorcerer subclass. But before we jump in, I want to tell you real quick about the Spud Club. So the FryMinis Spud Club, $5 a month. You can come support us. So it's over on Patreon. I think it's pretty fun. You get free PDFs, including a couple months ago, we did a Moon Chaser Ranger, which actually has quite a bit in common with this. I think you could have these in the same party and it'd be really fun. You get all that for free in there. But specifically, we also have the Spud Club Painting Challenge. Every single month, if you paint minis like this, we have different themes every month. We have prizes, we have gift cards, we have free PDFs, we have all sorts of cool stuff. Check it out. Go to FryMinis.com and you can click Spud Club Painting Challenge up at the top, or just go over to Patreon and you can figure it out there. Join us over at discord.gg/FryMinis and you can come ask me directly. Whatever you do, have fun. If you're new to us, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to grow the channel. Thank you. That's all my plug stuff. But first, also thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sending over this early review copy of Dragonlance. I've really liked everything I've seen so far, and so I'll stop digging in. Let's jump in. Lunar Sorcery. On many worlds, the moon is a revered celestial body with magical properties. On Krynn, the gods of magic are associated with the world's 3 moons. On the world of Toril, the god Selune uses the light of the moon to battle darkness. On Eberron, scholars of the Draconic prophecy decipher ancient secrets from the waxing and waning of the world's 12 moons. You or someone from your lineage has been exposed to the concentrated magic of the moon or moons of your world, imbuing you with lunar magic. Perhaps your ancestor was involved in a druidic ritual involving an eclipse, or maybe a mystical fragment of a moon crashed near you. However you came to have your magic, your connection to the moon is obvious when you cast sorcerer spells, perhaps making your pupils glow with the color of a moon from your world, causing spectral manifestations of lunar phases to orbit you, or some other effect. Really, really good kind of lore and setup there. I always, if you're new to FryMinis, mechanical stuff is important. Don't get me wrong, it's important, and without the game might not be as fun for you. But for me, flavor and building a character and working all of that out and building kind of an image is my favorite part. So with this, that gives you great starting points. I absolutely love it when we have different campaign settings kind of flavor built in. So addressing Eberron, addressing Forgotten Realms, I think it's a good move. I also really like it when we get like little magical flavorings of like your eyes glowing or moons floating around you. That's always fun. Lunar Embodiment, first level Lunar Sorcery feature. You learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown in the Lunar Spells table. Each of these spells counts as a sorcerer spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells you know. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can choose what lunar phase manifests its power through your magic: full moon, new moon, or crescent moon. While in the chosen phase, you can cast one first level spell of the associated phase in the Lunar Spells table once without expending a spell slot. Once you cast a spell in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Full Moon gets Shield, Lesser Restoration, Dispel Magic, Death Ward, and Rari's Telepathic Bond. New Moon gets Ray of Sickness, Blindness Deafness, Vampiric Touch, Confusion, and Hold Monster. Crescent Moon gets Color Spray, Alter Self, Phantom Steed, Hallucinatory Terrain, and Mislead. Okay, so obviously that's a very large list of spells for a sorcerer to get access to. Remember, you're only in a phase one at a time, so you're only getting one of those spell lists at a time. So I think we're fine there. I love getting that free casting. I think that's something that's going across all of D&D right now, especially with the races getting that free casting, the feats getting a free casting, and then you can cast it with your spell slots. And I think working it into the subclasses is a good option too. And this spell list is a total banger. All 3 of these phases, I think, have great spell lists. Every single one. You've got such good flavor baked into these, and they're also kind of like, they clearly build a different way to take your character. And you can stay in a phase and never have to change. So if you want to be kind of tied down to that, cool. And then you can like be Bobby Full Moon, and that's all you do. Or you can swap these around and move them based on what kind of encounters you think you have coming up. Really, really like this feature. Moonfire, first level sorcery feature. You can call down the radiant light of the moon on command. You learn the Sacred Flame spell, which doesn't count against the number of sorcerer cantrips you know. When you cast the spell, you can target 1 creature as normal or target 2 creatures within range that are within 5 feet of each other. Okay, so yes, sorcerers already get a bunch of cantrips, but they don't get Sacred Flame. Is Sacred Flame the most powerful cantrip in the world? No, but I like to play a lot with cover at my table. So if cover is a big deal for your group, then Sacred Flame can be really great. And obviously targeting 2 creatures at no additional cost is phenomenal. In reality, I think it's pretty rare that that's going to come up. But when it does, you're going to feel so good at the table. If you don't know, Sacred Flame ignores cover. So that's why I like it. Lunar Boons, 6th level Lunar Sorcery feature. The current phase of your lunar embodiment can affect your meta magic feature. Each lunar embodiment phase is associated with certain schools of magic as shown here. Full Moon, Abjuration, and Divination spells. New Moon, Evocation and Necromancy spells. Crescent Moon, Divination and Transmutation spells. Whenever you use meta magic on a spell of a school of magic associated with your current lunar embodiment phase, you can reduce the sorcery points spent by 1 down to a minimum of 0. You can reduce the sorcery points spent for your meta magic a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so this subclass is really shaping up to be a very versatile spellcaster. We're not really leaning in hard on one specific theme. I mean, yeah, we've got the moon stuff for the mechanics to explain away the mechanics and how they operate. But for the actual spells, you've got so much variety here. And getting more sorcery points is always a good thing for a sorcerer. And so potentially popping out those meta magics without any sorcery point cost, this is great. Waxing and Waning, 6th level Lunar Sorcery feature. You gain greater control over the phases of your lunar magic. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 sorcery point to change your lunar embodiment phase to a different one. You can now cast 1 first level spell from each lunar phase of the lunar spells table once without expending a spell slot, provided your current phase is the same as the lunar phase spell. Once you cast a lunar phase spell in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. Okay, so it took me a second to understand this one, but I think I've got it now. So using a sorcery point to switch your phase, cool, great, that makes sense. With our other earlier feature, we were able to cast the first level spell of our phase for free, right? Once per long rest. And now this is it looks like it's saying the same thing, but no. So now that you can change it, you're able to cast each first level spell once, assuming you're in that phase. So 5th level and below, you're only in 1 phase at a time per long rest. And so you can cast that first level spell once. But with this, now you start your day, you're in full moon, and you cast your free spell. Cool. Now you spend a sorcery point, switch your phase to Crescent Moon, and then you can cast that spell for free. And then you've got that one more time. So I think that's how that works. And that's great. Now you're casting all 3 of those first level spells for free. So you're getting so much mileage out of this subclass when it comes to volume of spells that you're just blasting out there. This is really good. Lunar Empowerment, 14th level Lunar Sorcery feature. The power of a lunar phase saturates your being. While you are in a lunar embodiment phase, you can also gain the following benefits associated with that phase. Full moon. You can use a bonus action to shed bright light in a 10-foot radius in dim light for an additional 10 feet or to douse the light. In addition, you and creatures of your choice have advantage on intelligence investigation and wisdom perception checks while within the bright light you shed. New moon. You have advantage on dexterity stealth checks. In addition, while you are entirely in darkness, attack rolls have disadvantage against you. Crescent moon. You have resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. Okay, another really great feature. I really appreciate that all of these different phases have pretty different effects and they're all pretty good. Full moon, broadcasting out light. That's cool. That's great. I mean, yeah, some people might not have dark vision. You might not have a torch, things like that. But that advantage on investigation and perception checks, keep in mind, if you have dark vision and you're in darkness, you still have disadvantage out on those checks. So this will cancel that out at least. And hey, right? So if you have advantage on perception checks, that equals out to a +5, right? So I'd bump your passive perception up by 5 if you have this. Really good. New moon, advantage on stealth checks, always going to be great, especially if you've got heavy armor people walking around. And remember, this subclass doesn't get heavy armor, so maybe you've got half plate on or something, and that can help you out there. But the disadvantage on attacks against you while you're in total darkness, that's very interesting. That's, I think, going to be very rare, honestly, that's going to be able to work. But I'd love to see some darkness spell, warlock, Devil's Sight, multi-class builds with this. I mean, we're charisma, so that'd be pretty easy to do. And resistance to necrotic and radiant damage, that can be super cool. Those are obviously pretty infrequent overall, except for necrotic. My DM loves to hit me with necrotic damage. So that'll vary, of course, per campaign, per table and everything. But if that's coming up a lot, that can be great. Lunar Phenomenon 18th level Lunar Sorcery feature. As a bonus action, you can tap into a special power of your current lunar embodiment phase. Alternatively, as part of the bonus action you take to change your lunar phase using the waxing and waning feature, you can immediately use the power of the lunar phase you are entering. Full moon. You radiate moonlight for a moment. Each creature of your choice within 30 feet of you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw against your spell save DC or be blinded until the end of its next turn. In addition, one creature of your choice in that area regains 3d8 hit points. New moon. You momentarily emanate gloom. Each creature of your choice within 30 feet of you must succeed on a dexterity saving throw against your spell save DC or take 3d10 necrotic damage and have its speed reduced to 0 until the end of its next turn. In addition, you become invisible until the end of your next turn or until immediately after you make an attack roll or cast a spell. Crescent moon. You can magically teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 60 feet of yourself. You can bring along one willing creature you can see within 5 feet of you. That creature teleports to an unoccupied space of your choice that you can see within 5 feet of your destination space. In addition, you and that creature gain resistance to all damage until the start of your next turn. Once you use one of these bonus action benefits, you can't use that benefit again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend 5 sorcery points to use it again. Versatility, versatility, versatility. That's what this whole subclass is. So if you're already in your phase as a bonus action, you can pop this thing out, or as you're transforming with your waxing and waning, you're able to slide it through there too. So I really appreciate the flexibility, the versatility you get with that. But each one of these is so good. Blinded is always a great condition to inflict. They get disadvantage on so many things, so many spells and abilities that require a creature you can see just go offline when they're blinded. And until the end of their next turn, that's great. And a little 3d8 little top off on those hit points. That's nice. Get it. You got your friend down on the ground, breathing dirt. Pop him up. There you go. New Moon is great too. 30-foot range, 3d10 necrotic damage. Your movement goes to 0. That's so nice. You can position the party, move around, do so many cool things with that. Knock things prone so they're not getting up. Just really, really nice. Wow. And on top of that, you go invisible until you do something. After you do something, so you're getting an advantage on that attack roll or whatever. Jeez Louise. And Crescent Moon, a 60-foot teleport, bring a friend, get resistance. Come on. I love it. And last time on that versatility, you get a freebie, and then you can burn 5 sorcery points if you need to use it again. Got it in your back pocket. You need to do that emergency teleport, swap your phase, burn that sorcery point. Boop, you're out. 6 sorcery points total if you're not already in there. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so that is the Lunar Sorcery Sorcerer in Dragonlance for 5e. I think this is a phenomenal subclass. I really, really do. I think you have so much going on. You're never not going to have something to do. So many spells, so many freebies, so much versatility. One more time. It's just incredible. I think this could, I know you'll let me know in the comments. I don't feel that this is overpowered though, because all those phases were at one at a time, or you just start devouring sorcery points to make it happen. And I think this is going to be a hard subclass to play. I would not recommend this to a new player. There's so many different abilities and features to keep in mind through the different phases, and trying to stack them up and make them work at the best time and maximize that. You put this subclass in the hands of a like Treant Monk level min-max optimizer person. Yes, this will probably destroy and obliterate the game. But you put this in the hands of a like average skill player, where they're not gonna maximize every action, bonus action, every single round. I think this is gonna be a-okay, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. You put this in the hands of a fresh player, I think they're gonna get overwhelmed and might not have a great experience. Obviously, that'll all vary per person, but that's my general impression. So Lunar Sorcerer, big thumbs up from me. Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe, share the video, check out the playlist. Description has the links for everything. And again, thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sending this over. Lunar Sorcerer, it's a win.